Yo, 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 what it do? What it be? It's your boy A-N-T, and if you know it's me, it's got to be the G-A-M-E-G-A-N-G. That's the game, gang. You know we don't play none of that, all of that. Welcome back to Hip Hop History. Today we gonna be covering the birth of Def Jam, so let's get right into it. So I've talked before in a previous video about DJ Kool Herc, Grandmaster Flash, Africa Bambaataa, and while those three and the people in their circle would pretty much birth a whole new genre of music, some were skeptical as to just how big hip-hop could be as a genre, and there were others that thought that some money could be made with this new sound. And before I get into that, let's rewind a little bit to the late 1970s, 1977 to be exact. A young man named Russell Simmons sees an MC named Eddie Cheeba perform live in Harlem in 77. And I've scoured the internet for info on this guy, Eddie Cheeba. Couldn't find a solid, concrete biography on the guy. However, there are songs and recordings of him on YouTube, and I managed to find an interview he did detailing his career with DJ Hollywood, who at the time was one of, if not the best DJ in the world, in terms of how hip-hop was produced at the time. It was more of a live sound. They didn't really have a studio sound. 77, Rapper's Delight hadn't dropped yet. The Message didn't even drop. Hip-hop was still very much in its infancy, despite, that first Kool Herc party taking place in 73. So, give or take 4 years, people are still experimenting with what can be done on the ones and twos. And because, again, this is a time when DJs were still very prominent. It was the DJ that was the face, not the rapper at this point. So they had more of a disco sound. And often they rapped over instrumentals of songs that already existed, but they were the hottest act in New York. DJ Hollywood and Eddie Cheeba were. And they even went to France and showcased their skills over there. And in a sense brought early hip-hop sounds over there. But Russell Simmons saw Eddie Cheeba in 77 perform live in Harlem, and that inspired him to take hip-hop seriously. And during his freshman year of high school, he joined a group of students called The Force. No relation to any kind of Jedi or anything like that I know of. But they were aspiring party promoters who held events in local clubs like Small's Paradise or Charles Gallery. And through this club, he met Curtis Walker. Russell thought he needed a catchier name. So drawing on inspiration from Eddie Cheeba, for those of you who don't know, was and still is kind of a slang term for weed, kind of like a more old school term, kind of like jive turkey for weed, but it's whatever. I digress. Russell came up with this name, Curtis Blow. Of course, we all know what blows is a slang term for. Now, Russell's pops didn't see the vision. He wanted his son to get a good education and get a good steady job. His mom, however, had she encouraged him to follow his dreams. Education, that could always be there, but this hip hop thing, this is might be a once in a lifetime thing, she thought. So during all of 1977, Russell, aka Rush Simmons, would host hip-hop parties in local venues that featured Curtis Blow and DJ Grandmaster Flash. Yes, the Grandmaster Flash. And he even had an event booked where DJ Hollywood was supposed to perform. However, after losing money on a previous event and all that, Russell had to cancel it. And there's even stories, there's one story in particular that stands out to me where an event that Russell was throwing got shot up, and he made his way out of the door and had hid under a car. He took cover under a car, still clutching the money that he had made from the event. So he was always about the money in a life or death situation, for sure. That's something that stuck out to me in doing this kind of research. So Russ was facing a minor setback after losing some money in a previous event, but his mom had gave him a $2,000 loan to continue his dream. So he continued throwing events and started making decent money from them. And once his earnings were steady enough, he decided he wanted to become a hip-hop record producer, which again was very uncommon, as everyone else was trying to rap or be a b-boy or b-girl or even a DJ. But Russ decided that he wanted to produce a hit hip-hop record, and it just so happened that around that time, Robert Rocky Ford wanted to write a Christmas rap song because his associate Mickey Addy had guaranteed him that a Christmas song would garner yearly airplay, would get royalties. It was just a good idea to him. So Rocky Ford ran this idea by his colleague by the name of J.B. Moore, who wrote down some holiday-themed bars, and somewhere along the way, Russell Simmons convinced Ford to work with Curtis Blow and record a song with him. Now, I believe Rocky Ford was actually an executive at Billboard at the time, so he had his ear to the street somehow and knew, like, okay, this is what hip hop needs, is a Christmas record, you know. So he ran this idea by J.B. Moore, and Russell convinced Ford to work with Curtis Blow, and Curtis Blow, with the help of a young Reverend Run, wrote the rest of Christmas Rappin'. And according to Curtis Blow, they got done recording the song in October, and during this time, Rapper's Delight was in every stereo around the world. So technically, this is hip-hop's second hit record. And we all know how Rapper's Delight is a landmark song in hip-hop and rap history. But Curtis Blow would record Christmas Rappin', and he presented it to several labels before Mercury Records, which was actually a British record company, picked it up. And in the holiday season of 1979, Curtis Blow and Mercury Records would release the holiday anthem Christmas Rappin', and it was an instant hit. It is considered the second hit song in rap history. It's the fourth rap record ever produced, and the song got Curtis Blow signed to Mercury and made him the first rapper with a major record deal, because Sugar Hill Gang and Sugar Hill Records were mostly independent, was more smaller. And after Christmas Rappin' success, Curtis Blow dropped his first single under Mercury called The Breaks, and with the success of The Breaks, Curtis put together a whole album with hits like The Breaks and Basketball. Those were really the only hits. I'm not going to lie. I can't name you another Curtis Blow hit. But, I mean, when you one of the first people to do something, you got to have two hits? No, you just got to have that one that puts everybody else on. You feel me? So, after Curtis Blow saw mainstream success with Christmas Rappin' and The Breaks, at some point, Russell Simmons met Rick Rubin through Jazzy J. And no, not Will Smith's DJ, that's Jazzy Jeff. This was Jazzy J from the Zulu Nation. And after Rick Rubin met Russell Simmons, the two began scheming on building a hip-hop record label that would eventually become Def Jam. See, while Russell and Curtis were trying to push Christmas Rappin', they discovered a lot of the bigwigs in the music industry weren't aware of how popular hip-hop was growing in urban areas. As you could probably imagine, some hadn't heard of rap at all, maybe besides Rapper's Delight. And as you can imagine, they probably thought it was just a fad. Disco was still popular as fuck. Prince just dropped his self-titled album and shattered what everybody thought music was for a second. And some execs probably thought that hip-hop was just a fad, like TV or the internet or something. But Rick Rubin met Russell Simmons on the set of Graffiti Rock and already knew of Simmons' stature in the hip-hop community. And even though Def Jam's first song was from Rubin's rock band called Hose, no, not that kind of hose, like a garden hose, literally, him and Russ envisioned the first label that signed mostly rappers. Maybe if it was a rap group, it would have been the other Hose, but no, it was just Hose. Sorry. But one thing to note is that Corey Robbins, who worked for MCA, which is another major label, he worked for them for a brief period. He heard Christmas Rappin' and brought it to the execs because he liked it so much, and the execs shut it down. Well, after that, Corey Robbins started Profile Records in 1981 and signed Run DMC, which again will be a whole nother video. But with the success of Curtis Blow and Run DMC in the music industry, Def Jam released It's Yours by Tila Rock and Jazzy J as the second single by Def Jam, but they struck gold twice in 1984 with LL Cool J's I Need a Beat and the Beastie Boys' Rock Hard. And those two songs got Def Jam a distribution deal with CBS Records through Columbia Records. And even though Rick Rubin's knowledge and experience was limited in hip-hop, he produced LL Cool J's first album, worked with the Beastie Boys on they shit, helped them become a commercial success, and even worked with Run DMC. And his friend Sue Cummings, she even came up with the idea to have Run DMC and Aerosmith collab on Walk This Way, which is one of the most influential songs in hip-hop. So, perfect mesh of, rap and rock, and it started the whole rap and roll kind of sound for a minute, and kind of a big reason why you hear like electric guitars in some songs, and some rappers want to be these rock stars. That was Run DMC first, for real. But give credit where it's due. Even though they was rocking the Adidas and the tracksuits and shit, they was still rocking out with Aerosmith. Let's not forget. Let's put some respect on Run DMC. So with Russell and Rick's genius behind the scenes, they helped set the stage for hip hop and rap to be the fastest growing genre of music in history, with Def Jam leading the way in the mid to the late 80s and helping build the foundations of hip hop in the music industry, and set the tone, or paved the way for a lot of hip hop labels that you see nowadays. But even though Russ and Rick haven't had anything to do with Def Jam in years, the name Def Jam is synonymous with hip hop, and as a brand and label, it's branched out from music into video games and other avenues, and is still recognized as a legendary label where artists like Dave East, Jadakiss, Young Jeezy are thriving. Public Enemy and LL Cool J are still signed with Def Jam today, and it all started with Rush Simmons and Rick Rubin having a vision. And even though Rick isn't with Def Jam, he's still a music exec and is considered a legend in the music biz. Russ, of course, is a legend in business, and just really a legend, period, in both business and music. But he's just as known for his entrepreneurial endeavors as much as being a hip-hop legend. But yeah, shout out Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons for starting up Def Jam. The legendary hip-hop label that we all know and love today, and it helped build the foundation of hip-hop, kind of, in a sense. But hope y'all enjoyed this video. I got more hip-hop history written. I just got to record it. So subscribe if you like this video. Maybe leave a comment on what you like, or maybe some of the hip-hop stories I can cover in the future. I definitely got a few planned out, but I'm always interested to hear what y'all want to hear as well. Leave a like if you liked it. If you didn't like it, maybe leave a dislike and tell me why. Shit, I'm about it. But again, subscribe, ring the notification bell, hit it, make sure you turn them on so you can stay tuned for all the hot content I got dropping soon. I got hip hop histories and doing top 10 quarterback lists through the decades dropping on this channel, along with Uncharted and Ragnarok Let's Plays. So yeah, whole heap of content. Y'all, hope y'all enjoy it. Y'all be safe. Don't get smoked. It's been your boy ANT, repping the motherfucking game gang. We don't play none of that. All of that. I'm out, y'all. Peace.